Okay. Hey, guys. This is Sean DeGray. Nobody knows who that is, but it's me.
And you are listening to
the Gritty Bowmen.
It's all in perspective, right? If you could make $150,000 a year, but you had to work 80 hours a week and you were committed to a corporation that you hated what you did, is that more lucrative than making $70,000 a year doing what you love with a lot of free time? And who's richer?
One of the things I never want to say, and I even think this with life, is I never want to say, like, what if? Like, what? I hate that. I hate that feeling. What if I would have done this? Or what if I would have just tried this? Or what if? What if? And there's very few things that I say what if about. Very few things. And that gives me a lot of peace of mind. So that helps give me drive, because I don't want to ever say what if.
Randy always says this, you're going to run out of health before you run out of money.
Why is there always that spot, though, that seems to you go in, you kill a giant.
Yep.
And then the next year, another giant's there.
Yeah.
And then another giant. How does that work out, man?
The one guy has the best bedroom in the house. And so the second the big top dog got taken out, here comes another one to take his bedroom. And I think they...
And the ladies.
Yeah, for sure.
And the ladies.
And if you're trying to kill the biggest bull on the mountain, man, if you can do it before the rut kicks in, all the better. Because once that rut kicks in, I've had them run 30 miles in 20 days.
Yep.
If you're going for a Utah Trophy Bull or an Arizona Trophy Bull that takes you 20 years to get a tag, that's where I say August 15th. Go big. Go big. Don't hesitate for a second.
Okay, here we go. All right, folks, welcome to the Gritty Bowmen podcast. We're at the Western Hunt Expo. We are here with Sean DeGray, the mighty Sean DeGray.
The mighty Sean DeGray.
The mighty Sean DeGray, who is in charge of runs the Total Archery Challenge, a few other things. We've had Sean on before. The best podcast, I think, with Sean was ATA After Midnight.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one.
And that one, if you missed it, you should go back and check it out. It's really good. It's really good.
That podcast was good because you guys were silly, like you were up so late and tired. It was funny.
Aaron was funny. He was on a roll. Sean was on a roll. Yeah. It was good stuff, man.
It was good, man.
We had a blast. We were coming off of a really good week.
That's right, when I met you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I got to know you really well and your unfiltered way.
Totally. Like, I'm just going to get in your space right here and do this.
Ooh, that felt good.
Yeah.
Could you rub that while you're there?
Your wife, met her. She's super cool. I don't know why she married you, but she is super cool.
She's the lady in charge.
She is.
Well, that's why I married her, but why she married me was for my looks, obviously.
Obviously. And then Ryan, we've got Ryan Carter here, and you were on the hit list with Zach Griffith recently.
Yeah.
Good friends with Sean here.
Yep.
You guys go way back?
We go back a ways to 2004-ish.
Did we meet when you hit your head, right?
Yeah, about when I hit my head and Ryan punctured his lungs.
Well, tell me about this. What's going on here?
Sean.
I was in an accident.
Yeah, talk about your accident.
Before that. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry to derail this, but people don't know who Ryan is.
I'll tell you who Ryan is.
Dun, 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 dun. Who's Ryan?
This is going to be good. Yeah.
Let's see here. I got to search for the right way to do this, but Ryan is the pretty face of Total Archery Challenge.
Salt Lake.
So no, look, man, Total Archery Challenge. Let's be honest. I mean,
yeah.
when people, especially Salt Lake, when they're like Total Archery Challenge, they think of Ryan Carter, and it's a good thing for me.
Yeah,
because then everybody's like, "Oh yeah, Total Archery Challenge. He's got this handsome, buff dude."
It's just that I have nice teeth. That's all. Yeah, it's just the teeth.
Got the smile.
Yeah.
But he's
smile goes a long way.
It does.
He's elk hunter extraordinaire, and loves everybody.
Yeah, that's what I noticed too.
I don't have beef with a lot of people.
No,
there's a couple.
Yeah, but
they're few and far between.
It's very, especially in this industry where it seems to be, I don't like that guy. I don't like that guy. I don't like that girl. You and Sean are peas in a pod in that sense, because I was just telling somebody this morning I was hanging out with, and I was like, you know why I like Sean DeGray? Because nobody knows who Sean DeGray is.
No, heavens no. They know who Ryan is.
But Sean works behind the scenes like a magical maestro, doing things in the hunting world. And one thing, though, that I like about Sean is Sean likes everybody. And he's cool to everybody.
I do like everybody.
That's the thing. He's not just nice to everybody. He's cool to everybody.
Yeah, and it's legit. It's real.
Yeah.
And you telling me this guy's like that too?
Oh, man, he's exactly
Ryan?
like that. That's who I learned
Ryan's
it from.
like that?
Sometimes I'm like that.
But he's a elk slaying.
Oh, my gosh.
Like, just giant elk. You're an elk nerd.
Yeah, no, I geek out over elk for sure.
So go back to this how you met kind of stuff.
So, you know what? I don't have all the details as well as Ryan because my memory was wiped for about a while.
So can I tell it?
Yeah,
Okay.
Ryan will tell the story.
Well, I don't remember where you were. You were pulling a horse trailer home. I don't remember where you were at.
Oh, yeah, we were in Idaho. Rolled a truck.
You do remember that?
Oh, yeah, I remember all that
Wow.
good stuff. I just mean when we met.
Right. Well, yeah, so Sean got in a really bad wreck. They put a screw to plate in his head. His short-term memory is, like, ridiculous. You have to tell him the same thing over and over.
Well, not anymore. Now I remember.
Yeah, he does a little better now. But 15 years ago, dude, everything you said it twice. And that's why Monica, his wife, is like a miracle worker because she has to do it.
She deserves
a
ticket straight to heaven.
Yeah, that's right.
She earned it, man.
Yeah, straight to the top.
And me,
Saint.
at the same time, I had a wreck on a dirt bike. I had 18 fractures, shoulder gone, punctured both lungs.
Well, bro, that's a serious wreck. Like, what kind of wreck?
I was on a dirt bike, desert racing.
And?
It got smashed up pretty good.
Well, the details, man. I want to know, did you hit a tree? You're in the desert.
We were riding a track backwards, and as we summited this hill, there's a kind of a jump that you do whips over the summit. Well,
what's a whip?
You kind of
whip.
You fly,
watch me, nay.
Like the dirt bikes go sideways. Like it's a really fancy looking jump that I'm not good at.
Just
anyway.
show us. Stand up and just do like the.
No, I'm not doing
Those are some tight
Dude,
jeans.
I got tight pants on. It's
I
not
don't want you to burst a seam, I guess.
Yeah, be careful, Luke Bryant.
So
it's not just
I
those
hit
biceps
that jump
that are
backwards, endoed really bad, 40-something feet. I mean, it was bad. But both lungs were punctured. I was in the hospital about 9 days. I got out 3 days later. We had this mutual friend that he's Sean's neighbor. Let's just put it that way. Like he's a nice kid.
Yeah.
He talked us into climbing a mountain. Sean couldn't think straight. I could still barely breathe and walk. I still had fractures all in my lungs. We hiked. How high is that mountain? 10-3?
Yeah. Yep.
It took us 7 hours, 2 steps at a time. And that, from there, and so we got to the summit pretty early.
And you're both busted human beings.
And
my wife was worried. That was
cold.
the first physical thing I'd done since my accident. And I mean, I had to have help. I had no equilibrium in the beginning, right? So now this is the first time I'm going out to actually do something. Ryan's first time going out since he got out of the hospital, and we made it.
Where we bonded, we got to the top a little early. It was super cold.
We bonded.
The only person that had a jacket was Sean. So there was a lot of cuddling going on.
Even without a brain, I was the only one that was prepared.
So you brought a jacket.
Yeah, so there was some cuddling, and we've been friends ever since.
Yep.
Nice.
In fact, he has the jacket.
I still have the jacket.
I gave it to him.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's like a Letterman's jacket.
Yeah, it's like you graduated. You graduated into my company. Here, have a jacket.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what's DC Outfitters?
DC. So I had guided Sean on a hunt 2010,
I think.
About.
And you've been guiding for how long?
Well, before that, I've been guiding for a couple different places.
Yeah. You worked for some other.
Yeah, for some other outfitters.
Outsourced to them.
You know, I started in about 2006, and then about 2010 is when they forced us into getting our own outfitter's license.
Okay.
So that not anybody could just take somebody out and take money for it. And
state needed recourse.
Right.
And money.
Yeah. And whatever. It was what it was. But Sean said, hey, let's throw something together, because we actually had a really good time on that hunt. Sean didn't kill. I don't know why. He passed up too many good bulls. It was silly. But that's when we decided to throw it together. So the DC is actually DeGray Carter Outfitters, even though Sean hasn't been on the mountain with me since. Well,
whoa.
Okay, one time.
I get at least one day a year.
It was
and we
raining.
go and eat.
We didn't even hike.
I know, but we went and ate at the
So
restaurant.
you guys got your license together?
Yeah, but Ryan, he does all the hard work.
Yeah.
You're just the pretty face.
Yeah, I'm just
DC
So
Outfitters.
I'm the face of the Total Archery Challenge.
So
He's the face of DC.
Yeah, nobody knows.
Everybody says DC Outfitters. What's that? He's like, oh, Sean DeGray, he's my partner. They're like, what does he do?
Who's that?
Yeah, even better. Who?
So tell me this, like, when it comes to elk hunting, how have you been so successful finding, killing big bulls?
He only has one client didn't kill. That was me.
That's true.
Wow.
That's true. You know what? I guide on a unit that they're there. That's all there is to it. It's a unit that they put them there, and I tacked it down. And really, like, the year I tacked it down was with Sean.
Really?
And ever since then, I've just been able to figure it out. I just have to find one or two good bulls and corner them. It takes some time. It takes a lot of luck. Elk hunting's luck. It's always luck.
So you'll hear a lot of guys say, oh, I know this mountain. I know these elk. I know whatever. So that's really what he does, and he does know them.
Yeah.
I was actually just talking to they killed that big bull this year, Donna's bull. Mm-hmm. I was talking to her husband and her, I guess, would be brother-in-law. I'm good friends with her brother-in-law.
Yeah.
And he's all, man, Ryan and I are sitting on the ridge, and we found this bull. And Ryan says, oh, man, this is going to work out good. The bull's going to be right here at this wallow tomorrow morning. And I looked down and I said, how do you know that? He goes, I just know what these elk are doing when they're coming this way. And sure enough, that's where she got it, right there.
What I told him, I said, that elk, if I can get her in the right spot, he'll be dead by 9 a.m. She shot him at 8:40. Like, you spend enough time, you figure them out. Elk and deer, like, they're not smart. They're really not. Everyone talks about how smart these old mule deer are. They're not smart. They just have good instincts. And so if you get on the right playing field with them and you can figure out their instincts, it's done. Game over.
Well, I had a guy tell me once, we were hunting in Montana.
Yeah.
And those animals aren't near as smart as public land animals. And he said to me, I had a guy tell me once, the smartest deer is dumber than the dumbest person. Well, that didn't make me feel very good because we had just screwed up a stalk. So I didn't know what he was trying to say. But just, yeah.
So what do you mean by they have good instincts, but they're not real smart?
Well, elk, the whole game on elk is wind, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you can get the wind on elk, in all reality, you don't have to wear camo. Like, especially during the rut. It's just you run and gun the whole day. As long as you got the wind right, you can play them. But, so it's learning what their habits are and what their weaknesses are and where they're going to be. You can learn their habitat. You can learn their weakness. Like, it's an easy game if you play it right.
Well, and a lot of time, right? You spend a lot of time. On our hunt, which you say is when we started, we spent probably 30 days during the summer on the mountain, and then we were on the mountain every day of the hunt, which was 20.
I was there.
How many days?
I was there 18
days.
You were there 24.
Yeah, straight.
A long time.
Really?
Yeah, and that's how you learn a mountain, right?
Yeah.
Like, and I've done that. That's been just that hunt alone. That was 7 years ago.
7 years ago.
So I do that every year for 7 years. You learn a few spots.
How do you set up your game cameras? Because you have some killer game camera photos. Anyone who wants to just see some amazing critters, go on to what's your Instagram handle?
Ryan at
DC Outfitters. Ryan_DC Outfitters.
Ryan_DC Outfitters.
Thanks. Yeah.
And there's tons of killer photos up there. Even if you go on to Zach Griffith's video that he put on YouTube and you do the hit list with you on there, there's a ton of really awesome.
That hit list video, I gave him pictures that I've never even posted because some of those bulls, I'm going to kill them this year. Those are my
go-tos. We're gonna explode that on Gritty Bowmen too. Go out there and check it out and see all these, and then find out where he hunts, and then go there and see if you can get it yourself.
Yeah,
Ryan always says
public land.
Here's my favorite thing about Ryan is you'll be talking to someone. Oh yeah, I'm gonna go down there, and Ryan's like, they can come down here. It's fine. It's public land. Whatever. I just know where the bulls go. He's like, come down. I know the mountain. You just push them to me. That's fine. You're more than welcome to come. No, but in all honesty, that was another thing is that I really admire about Ryan as an outfitter and somebody that has to compete on public land like this is people. He had a guy this year, in fact, call him, say, hey, I drew the tag. I've been really struggling. And this happens probably every year. Yeah. Could you help me out? And he always helps guys out. Not as a, hey, I don't want to tell you my secret spot or I don't want, whatever it is. He always helps people out because he's passionate about it and he wants everybody to be successful to some degree, on what they're after. And that guy ended up killing one of those bulls.
Yeah, he's out front. The Brian Schiller's bull. 402 is a giant.
So on your game cameras, how many do you put up in a season?
Oh, we must have digressed. Game cameras.
Okay.
And how much does it help?
So so I hunt a plateau where I got. It's a plateau. It's not a mountain. There's hills and there's
coulees or canyons.
It's thick. It's nasty. It's really. I don't carry around a spotting scope. It's too heavy. It's run and gun the whole time. So. Yeah, the more cameras I have, the better, because once a bull splits out of one area, I got to figure out if he went north, south, east, west.
Right.
Sometimes they go higher. Sometimes they crest the plateau and head over into country I don't even hunt. So if I can figure out which way they went, that's the world to me. So the more cameras, the better. So I lay out 30 or 40 right at the beginning. As the bulls move and as they push cattle through, I shift them just to try to figure out which ways the bulls are going, and then hopefully I lock them down before their archery hunt starts.
What cameras do you like to use?
Anymore, I use all stealth cams.
All stealth cams, and what model do you like right now?
I just ordered a whole bunch of Zs.
Is that the 4K one that just came out?
No, I'm going to get a few of those because I'm going to blow it up. That 4K is going to be super fun, super fun. But the Zs are a lot smaller. People don't notice them as much. I put a lot of cameras on pinch points instead of wallows. You go down there and about every good wallow has 4 cameras on it. It's really sad. And so guys walk in and they'll break those cameras or what?
Steal them.
Yeah, it's public land.
Do you have, does that happen a lot or?
It happens quite a bit.
Yeah.
If I put out, so this year I put
lame.
out just under 60 cameras and I think I lost 4.
And we lost 5 when I was there.
Bad. Yeah, and we only had, on yours, maybe 20.
Yeah, we had
18.
20 out. We lost 5.
Yeah, and it's just every year
varies. I put 4
varies.
out in Mount Emily in Oregon. I lost 4.
You're kidding.
3 for sure.
I don't get it, man. I don't get it.
One of them, I brought a tree stand and climbed 40 feet up and pointed it down it barely would register.
And they still got it.
Somebody still stole it. I don't know how they found it. They had to be scanning the friggin' place.
I don't,
because that was set up to catch the guy stealing the other one.
Yeah. Well, that's what I
stole them both.
I use the Zs because they're smaller.
Mr. Call is not all that smart.
Well, you know what we said about the smartest here.
So yeah, you know what? You learn small tricks when you're setting up cameras.
Uh-huh.
Little branches, set them off, and you take 4,000 pictures of weed and your batteries die. So you learn to clear your spots out really good. I make sure all my cameras are facing north so I don't get sun glare because that'll ruin a picture. Some cameras you may only get one good picture through the entire summer. And a lot of my bulls are that way. I'll get one camera that just the only picture it got was 1/400 and a bunch of rags. But that 1/400, that was my biggest success of the year. Yeah. And so if he came through and a sun glare's on there, that picture's ruined.
And really, as an outfitter, your brand depends on, some those photos you're getting. You can say, look, this is in this area. I know where it's at, and people want to pay for that.
Yeah, and for me, it gives me peace of mind to my clients. Hey, we're on it. We got a couple decent ones worth chasing this year. Because Utah, the nice thing about Utah is if they want it, they can turn the tag back in 2 days before the hunt.
Really?
I can say, dude, this is a year we're not going to break 4. We're sitting at 370, and
if they don't want that,
well, yeah. When you wait 20 years for the tag, or you pay $70,000 for it, you've got to
I'm just not that guy.
Sean's that guy. Sean was like, hey, I don't want to kill another 360 bull. We're going to go till the very end.
He meant I'm not the guy with 70,000. He meant
I'm not the guy who cares if he kills a big bull or not.
20
I
points,
wanted
16 points.
I had I had 16 points, and
17 points.
I've killed a 360 bull, and I drew a tag that we knew we could kill a giant.
Yeah.
Like, we were on a unit we could kill a giant, and so that's what I said. I said, well, I want to kill a giant, and we chased. I had my opportunity.
Yeah.
It didn't work out, but it was a giant.
I'll admit that I'm the same way. Like, there are times where if I see something in the unit on my hunt that's just that I get super excited about, I'm ruined. Like, it's got to be that animal, or and so I find myself, if I see a 200-inch mule deer and a 170 walks up, I have a really hard time knowing that 200 is out there.
Right.
You know, that's just an example, because I've never.
This, I'll draw Montana again, and we have an area up there. I work for an outfitter up there, and we have really good elk. So I just told Ryan, look, I want a giant, man.
Right.
Let's do it. And we hunted every day. Like Ryan said, he was there 18 days. I was there 20 whatever days it was. Every day of the hunt, I didn't go home. In fact, I told my boss at the time, Dave Bolin. You know the Bolins.
Yep.
I told him, he was my boss. I said, hey, I want to take the whole hunt off. And he started laughing. He said, are you serious? I'm like, yeah. He goes, we can't do that. I said, well, then I'm quitting. He goes, what? I said, dude, I'm quitting. This is my one shot to go for a giant, and I'm going for it. He's like, okay, we can work it out. Yeah. So I did. It was awesome. It was amazing. But we kind of solidified our relationship there. We were good buddies for those few years, and then we spent a lot of time together that year.
Yeah.
Well, you and Aaron know, like that. Those are the hunts that kind of bond you.
It does.
You're stuck in the same area for so long. Like,
yep.
That's good.
There's some when you're in the hills, you know, and you're grinding like that all day, and you're just away from the distractions of the world and all that other kind of stuff. It's you just get to know each other on another level.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what hunting is. Like there's a fellowship there. That's what I mean. It's just you can't beat that. I mean, you get that in sports. You get that like what we do. It's an amazing thing.
Tell me, like if a guy's out, you know, what is some advice for an elk hunter in the scouting space? If you drew a tag, okay, for let's say Idaho, okay, or Montana, it's a good tag. There's some great bulls in there. How would you go about preparing for that hunt?
Well, because I would start by attacking social media. In all reality, that's where I'd start. I'd find out who's killing the bulls in that area, start asking them questions, not asking for areas, asking them for ideas, and then go to biologists and talk to them. That'd be my very first move, the second I drew the tag. And from there, I would start working those areas. Like, elk are very habitual. Like, they're not – it doesn't matter if they're on a plateau or on a mountain. They're still benches they like. Yeah. There's areas they'll stick to because there's water.
Same areas they've been on for the last 500 years.
Yep.
Right? Like, just a different elk on a different day, but they have their places they like.
Why is there always that spot, though, that seems to you go in, you kill a giant.
Yep.
And then the next year, another giant's there.
Yeah.
And then another giant. How does that work out, man?
It's just that
it's crazy.
It's the cool spots. I've heard that where a guy talks about, you know, these guys are like, a giant gets shot in this unit, and it's the only giant there, right? And then they shoot it, and then the next year there's another giant in that same spot, but he wasn't anywhere near there.
Oh, what is that?
On all their scouting? It's like I think they know where the best places are, and the top dogs get those places.
They have the one guy has the best bedroom in the house, and so the second the big top dog got taken out, here comes another one to take his bedroom. And I think they
and the ladies,
yeah, for sure,
and the ladies,
and that's the key thing, right?
Yeah.
I really think that's the key thing. They have areas to overlook where the cows are. So the second something comes in heat, maybe the wind's shifting their way, whatever it is, that's the spot to be. That's first choice. So I don't know what that is, but yeah, spend some time on Google Earth. You look for benches. You just talk to everybody you can. That's the biggest key. If the more social and friendly and like humble you can be when you talk to people. People are happy to brag every now and then.
Yeah.
And
people like to talk. I mean, they really
they
do, right? Especially hunters.
Who doesn't like talking hunting?
Yeah. No, it's true. Especially in a unit where it's a lot easier to get information in a unit where it takes 10 to 20 years to draw.
Yep.
Versus a unit where you could hunt it every year or every other year, because those units, if you draw, if you're not going to hunt that spot again for another 10 years, you're willing to share your information with that one, with another guy.
That's my point every time. Guys come down, dude, I found this elk. I don't know how to kill him. I'm like, well, I know that bull well. Let's start right here. And it's like, dude, you don't have to tell me your spots. I'm like, look, man, this is elk hunting. Like they come back to the same spots, but in all reality, you won't be here again because it's so hard to get this tag.
So tell me this, like when you're let's say you have a game camera out and you find a bull, what have you noticed about their behavior? Do they stay in that place, or you get to pick one picture and he's just gone, or how do you pin him down and find him during the season?
They're all different. Some of them, I have this one bull. He's still alive right now. I really think he's pushing 420.
But they're dumb. They're dumb.
Oh,
they've outsmarted.
This bull.
They're so dumb.
This bull cruises through. I get one picture of him a year, just one. It's the weirdest thing. Like, he hits one camera and then it's done. And I have that area plastered with cameras. I don't know where he goes. I still haven't figured him out. He's still alive. No one's got his sheds. But he's still alive, and he still hits me. But then I have this other bull. In fact, the bull we just bought the tag for.
You can't sleep at night, can you?
Dude, I called him Pretty Boy because he didn't rut cows.
I saw the picture of that
camera. He stays right there.
Big.
And that's the bull I'm hoping we kill this year because he's stupid. I mean, he just I don't know what they do.
I hunted Idaho, and there's this bull that was there in this area we were at, and he's kind of a legendary bull for the area. And he's like a 380, 385 bull. And people have been trying to kill him for, it was something like 7-8 years now, where he got big enough where he was just, everybody knows about this bull. So nobody quite knows where he goes during rifle season. But during bow season, you can find him pretty handily. But when we tried to kill him, and we wasted 3 days on like a 7-day hunt, like, wasted, I say wasted. It was fascinating to watch, but this thing was like an ultra marathon runner. We would find this bull in the morning, and sometimes it took a while to find him, but we would find him. And this is open country, and glass him up. And then as soon as the sun was coming up, getting higher and higher and higher, he would decide, okay, it's time to round him up, okay, and get out of here. And he would run those cows, just start pushing them, and he only had like 4 or 5 at a time, but one was in heat every time. And he would just run them down these canyons, and they would travel like 3 or 4 miles, just full speed. He's just shoving them, and he has got the wind in his face the whole time he went. And the canyons were such that it was really hard to get down there. And if you got anywhere near where he would come through to catch him on his way, he would wind you. And he would run them around and then this way, and it was just this wild. It seemed like he was just running them to just get hunters and then he'd just pick a draw and push them in there after he'd run them for about an hour. And I mean, we're just glassing him. Oh, there he is, way over, and he'd just cover huge expanses of country, and so much energy used to push those cows. But it was like it's like he figured out a system that would keep him alive.
Yep. I've hunted bulls like that.
And he's like 14 or 12, 14 years old, something like that. Just old. Yeah. But he's pushing and pushing and pushing, and it's like, that's just a lot of work, man. But he didn't have a huge herd, and he's kind of notorious for that. And anyway, we thought we'd try to work him, but it was really tough. And we realized there were a lot of other great bulls that were dumb. So why not go for one of those?
Go for the dumb ones.
Why not shoot a 360 bull that's dumb instead of a 380 bull that's probably going to use all my...
I like dumb ones.
I do like the challenge, but after a while I was like, this is retarded, man.
Those big desert open country bulls, that's tough to do.
Yeah.
That's tough to do, especially if he's not habitual. It's like that 420 bull. I don't know that I'll ever kill him because he doesn't have a
No, he just is all over the place.
Yeah, he's there one day, and the next year he's
just on the
20
move.
miles over here. And I'm like, why did I get camera pictures there and there? It's almost the same date 1 year later.
Right.
They're 20 miles away, but there he is again. He's still alive. But, I don't know. But the ones that you can lock down, the ones that you can pattern, I mean, you can kill them.
Yeah.
Get the wind
so
right.
So do you do a lot of calling, or do you do mostly like ambush, or
just depends, really?
All of it.
You know what? I like to kill bulls early. I like to, if I can kill them mule deer style before rut ever kicks in, that's the best way to trophy hunt bulls.
So are you tree stand hunting, or
yeah, tree stands, blinds, whatever works for who I have. I love tree stands. I'm a whitetail guy. I love tree stands.
Do you?
Oh yeah,
I do too.
So if I can pattern them, they're killable. They're straight up. Like you just get the wind right, you kill them. But when the rut gets going, we called a lot on your hunt.
Oh yeah, we called a lot. We ran all over that mountain though.
But that's the problem with chasing the hunt. It's if you're trophy hunting, if you're trying to kill the biggest bull on the mountain, man, if you can do it before the rut kicks in, all the better. Because once that rut kicks in, I've had them run 30 miles in 20 days.
Yep.
So your recommendation there is if find that bull before the season starts.
Yep.
Put all your time into that.
Yep.
And then day one, the first few days, try to hit him then.
If I can kill a bull in August, that's the prime time to do it.
Really?
Oh yeah.
He always says, "I want him done. I need to get this done in the first 5 days."
Yep.
That's how my uncle is too. Like, he owns High Point Outfitters in Arizona, and they tag out a lot of their hunters all on opening day. And he's like, it gets exponentially more difficult to make it happen second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth day. The further we get from that first day. And I find that, I was talking to Brian Broderick when we were in Alabama hunting whitetails, and he's like, first time in the stand is your best chance. Yeah. Second time, third time, fourth. Each time you have to hit that set, there's this chance that
especially if you're sitting in the same stand.
Yeah.
Because whitetails are bird dogs.
Yeah.
So sitting like every time you walk in there, it's sketchy.
Yeah.
And elk are the same way. He's totally right. The sooner the better.
Yeah.
Because as it gets closer to the rut, just like whitetails, they start cruising around to just kind of locate cows.
Yeah.
That's all they're doing. They just start covering miles to see what's where.
When would you say that rut date starts?
Labor Day's the shift for me.
Really? That's early, dude.
They rub off August 15th.
Uh-huh.
And those 15 days are your prime spot, in my mind.
Some units just don't open then. Would you rather hunt a unit then that's early like that than?
I've said this 100 times at least. I would take an archery tag for one of Utah's premier units before I took the statewide deer tag. And the only reason why is the statewide elk tag. The only reason why is the statewide doesn't open until September 1st. I would have him done August 15th, 17th. It'd be done.
Yeah. Huh. As soon as he's just more killable.
As the date opens, yeah.
Just more killable.
Yeah. If you're trophy hunting. Now, if you want a romantic
you got to admit, it is a blast to call in a bull.
I mean,
that's like the ultimate rush. I mean, that's I talked to Corey Jacobson. He's like, I'm not interested in what you're talking about. Not at all.
No, Corey's different.
But it's a different game, right? He's trophy hunting for the biggest thing.
Yeah.
And Corey's going for the...
Corey's trophy is the calling. Although, he kills the big ones too. But
he does, yep.
Man, I got to say, I really like blacktail hunting, and I really loved Alabama. I like tree stand hunting a lot. And then I like the chess match. I like the early season scouting. I like to getting in the tree and kind of seeing all that behavior ahead of time. That appeals to me a lot. I say, if you have the option, it sounds like most guys can target and shoot that big bull, because when I'm calling, I'm just going to call whatever comes in. I'm opportunistic, and any bull that responds to the call is the bull I'm taking a shot at. But this way, if I know there's a big bull in the area, I want to hunt him right off.
Well, this is the difference between what I do and what Corey Jacobson does. Now, the romantic elk hunt, the one everybody wants with the screaming bulls and the yellow aspens and the,
yep.
I mean, there's nothing better. In all reality, there's nothing better. However, You can do that in Colorado every year. You can do that in New Mexico every other year. You can do that in Wyoming every 5 years. If you're going for a Utah Trophy Bowl or an Arizona Trophy Bowl that takes you 20 years to get a tag, that's where I say August 15th. Go big. Go big. Don't hesitate for a second.
I remember my buddy and his dad, they drew – it's not about the horns, that film I did for Full Draw Film Tour. Mm-hmm. They had the Wasatch tag, and I think it opened like August something.
Yeah, mid-August sometime.
It's usually about the 15th or 20th.
Yeah, and then it was over like September 9th or something.
Sounds about right.
And I remember talking to him, talking about how bad those dates suck. But you're telling me they're not. Mm-mm. They're not bad.
Earlier the better.
Because then they killed bulls. But the first time they killed a 345, 350 bull, and it came into a wallow. And it was like 4 days into the hunt or something. And they kind of had an area. They knew what was going on. Built a little blind. Bull came in. Clueless as can be. Shot it. Great bull. They go back with their dad. Try to get him one. And some of that stuff didn't come together. And so it's getting later and later and later in the hunt. And as it shifted and they started rounding up cows, then it became just a calling game. Mm-hmm. And they did call in a bull the very last day of the hunt and got it done. But they're totally different experiences, the early season. And sometimes it feels to me like I'm just hot, miserable, and it's not romantic, like what you're saying.
Right.
There's nothing badass about it.
No.
But I will say this. You shoot a 390 bull, that makes up for all of the all the romance that you missed.
That's why I like That's why I like clients who's got that through their skin. They've killed 3 or 4 just decent bulls. They've had their romantic Colorado, Idaho, whatever fix and killed something great. Whereas
but you're saying that a guy could go hunt one state that early. You suggest it. Find a state where you can get a tag like as early as you can get. Attack it that week. Pattern them. Attack them then. Mm-hmm. And then tag out and then go have your romantic hunt in Colorado.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Why not? There's enough states with elk that it's totally doable.
You can get 2 tags in Idaho.
Go to Idaho every year.
Yeah.
Kill your 300 in Idaho. Like, go have fun. Get it out of your system. And then if you're going to trophy hunt, hunt them like mule deer.
I was just saying yesterday, the trophy on a lot of elk hunts for me is the call-in. That was the trophy. It came in, and I shot it. Voila! Like, that was the awesome moment. If it's a 280 bull, a 320 bull, whatever, it didn't matter because the trophy it worked. I did it.
Well, here's the question, though. Let's say
Let's
say it takes you 18, 20 years to draw a tag.
Yeah.
And you're going to call in this bull. A 280 bull shows up. Are you going to shoot it?
That's different.
But that's the point, right? That's what he's saying.
If you're drawing a tag, and you wait that long, then you're out there to get the bull.
The bull.
Not the experience.
No, I don't think that's fair to say because I was out there for 20-something days with Ryan. But I also guide. I got a lot of elk in Montana.
A lot of guys that get guided like that, they walk out and they just shoot one with a rifle on day one. That's not a hunt. That was shooting. In some ways, I'm not dogging a guy.
Here's the thing.
Who does that.
I'm not going to argue just because I like I'll take it on day one. Great.
Yeah.
If Ryan says, "Hey, let's sit here," and the bull walks out, and you shoot it day one with your bow, I'm not going to argue that.
I'll tell you this.
I'm happy.
Here's how it works for me. Maybe it's bizarre, but this is how Gritty brain works. If you walk out there and you have preseason, like July, you had cameras up, which, by the way, when do you start hanging cameras?
May 30th.
Okay, so May 30th, you have your cameras up. Okay. And you've got these cameras everywhere, and you are checking them, and you figured out like 3 or 4 bulls you're targeting. All the pieces come together. Day one, you go out and you hunt and you kill it on day one. Well, to me, you've been hunting all summer.
Yeah, you hunted
right?
all summer.
Like it's not, but if I walk out, that's rewarding.
Yeah,
hugely rewarding.
Absolutely.
If I walk out though on day one and I did none of that stuff, and I shoot a big bull that comes in, I feel disappointed.
I'm the same.
I'm
whitetails.
I'm happy, but I'm disappointed.
Yeah, if I go out on a whitetail hunt and I kill day one,
I agree.
I'm kind of bummed out.
I love to hunt. I mean, I haven't killed a lot of things myself personally. I've guided a lot of hunts. I guided in Alaska for a lot of years, and then in Montana,
15 plus years.
Yeah. So I absolutely love the hunt. Yeah. The whole experience. I mean, whatever it is, I absolutely love it. So, I mean, I agree with you.
Yeah.
If I show up, a friend of mine, we do Colorado every year, and we only get in a couple weekends of scouting. But if we were to go out and kill on day one, we would be happy. But it's not you don't get all the experience that you get if you're there 5, 6, 7, 10 days, whatever it is.
And I've passed on, like this year, I passed on a deer or two the first 2 days, and some were nice and would have been a bigger deer than I shot on the last day of the season. But I was happy, really happy with the one I shot because
which deer was this?
This was my Colorado mule deer.
Okay,
yeah.
So there was 4th season Colorado, and I had a chance at a big bull that Aaron will never let me forget, or big buck that I didn't shoot, which we brought up a million times. But I will still say this, that I'm glad I didn't shoot it because my hunt would have been over.
Right.
And we got dumped on with storm and snow, and I was hunting through the snow, and there were some just really cool experiences for the next couple days. And then on the last day, I had some good experiences where I learned a lot, and I just found it hugely rewarding. And I wouldn't have had those other 4 days of just awesomeness had I shot that one deer. Now I'd have had that great deer.
Right.
And that would have made up for some of it. But, man, I look back, and it's like it is an experience I'm going for more than a certain size of animal.
You don't want to lose the adventure.
But I want to kill the biggest animal I can on the last day. It makes a more epic story. I mean, let's be real. And that's all Gritty's about, stories,
yeah.
Making crap up.
I was going to say, even the lies are good stories.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
That's right.
The story's a story. They're all lies.
I've got plenty of those. When I look back on the hunt I did with Ryan, this is back in 2010.
Yeah.
We passed up a lot of bulls.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a lot of bulls. In fact, we had one bull. Ryan and I go back and forth on score, but we called him Piggly Wiggly. Big bull. His fronts came in and corkscrewed kind of over each other, like a pigtail.
Yeah.
And I had that bull at 7 yards. I mean, just staring, not even staring at me, staring at the cameraman.
In his face, yeah.
And I'm calling him 365. Ryan's calling him north of there. And, I mean, just the whole experience behind him. We bugled, he bugled. We charged in. Whenever we heard a bugle, we'd chase in on it and get real close, figure it out.
Real aggressive.
And he came. We caught him feeding, and then I peeked over the ridge, and he disappeared. And so I'm doing the slow stand-up, trying to look down because it's a steep angle. Next thing I know, those antlers are coming right at me. Yeah. And so I'm looking at the cameraman like, he's coming, get back, and I hurry and knock an arrow. And then he steps out 7 yards from me. I'm at full draw, and I don't shoot him. And then he runs off. He's at 21 yards, quartering away, front leg forward. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better setup.
It was like, shoot me here.
Yeah, just go ahead and shoot me right here. And he's just standing there looking back because he still doesn't know what's going on. Right. He just knew something was up.
Yeah.
So he's looking back like, what? And we let him go. Yeah. But
that was one of 10.
Yeah. It happened a lot.
Yeah.
The point is when I look back on it, he wasn't quite where I wanted a big bull.
Yeah.
I mean, I really did. Like, I love elk. I love elk more than I do mule deer. There's just something about them I just can't get out of my brain, and I wanted that giant. But my point to the story is we could have tagged out quite a few times throughout the hunt on good 360-type bulls.
Yeah.
But
and that feels good.
It does, but I wouldn't trade it because we went the whole hunt.
Yeah.
Ryan and I chased a bull 2 days before the hunt ended that broke 400. And I had him at 52 yards, and it was still a little too light. I couldn't see him through my peep, or a little too dark,
Couldn't see your pins.
So, and he's raking the brush, and then he moves into this section of aspens, and I tailed him, and I got him again, but we had a standoff. He caught me. And so it's the story you always hear, man, if he would have taken one more step. And that's exactly what happened. But that being said, all that experience that we did leading up to the actual, like the 400 bull, and we got it. The only thing I didn't get was letting that arrow fly, which would have been an adrenaline rush like crazy. But having a standoff at less than 50 yards with a bull of that caliber after hunting all those days and finding him is
rewarding.
Oh, I wouldn't trade it for a 360 or 370 bull. I just wouldn't, and I didn't.
I find too, if I'm running a camera, that even makes it better too. Like if I can film it, I feel like I kind of got it.
Yeah,
a little bit.
And we have our conversation on video. We had another buddy there filming, and I get buck fever, right? If it's a doe, a cow, elk, whatever I'm hunting, I'm like adrenaline junkie, and I'm like shaking. So I've got my bow, and we're sitting there, and I'm looking at this bull, and his antlers are glowing, and I'm like, man, that's a big bull. That's a giant. And then Ryan's peeking at it. He's like, oh, my gosh, Sean, that bull is huge.
He's a giant.
And I'm like, I know.
Giant.
Well, he keeps repeating it. He's like, it's a giant, man. It's a giant. He's over 400, Sean. And I go, Ryan, shut up. I know. You're wigging me out. Shut up.
It's all on video?
Oh, the whole conversation's on video.
That's great, yeah.
It's funnier than heck. We filmed that whole hunt. I mean, I've got hours and hours and hours of video. Pretty much every bull.
Why isn't that on YouTube?
Oh, because there's this guy that has a whole bunch of video that just sits on a hard drive.
Yeah, well, two guys. They have a lot of video.
There's a D and a C.
Yeah. It's DC Outfitters, definitely not DC Editors.
Yeah, we need to switch that.
Nice.
But we've got just about every bull that we chased, stalked, Piggly Wiggly's on there.
You got to just give that to somebody. Have them do it.
We need to because we had some good times. It was pretty hilarious.
This I know. Hunters love to see animals.
Yeah.
Big animals.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we filmed plenty of those.
They just love it.
They do.
I remember the very first day you're talking about calling them in's kind of fun. The opening day, we went up in this spot, check our cameras, nothing was hitting it, whatever. We're hiking back, and we're like, whatever, we're tired. Let's have a snack, drink some water, and we start called the bull right in. Little guy, but it called him in to 15 yards, right? Opening day. We're laughing our heads off. Happy as
this is
can
going to be easy.
Oh, yeah, like, rut's already started, man.
That's right. I called one in that has his balls haven't dropped. But.
Yeah, that's what he was.
That's exactly what he was. In fact, I was wearing a white front on the hat. I'm just like, what am I doing?
Oh, yeah.
It was that Will Hunt for Food hat with the white front like he's got.
Sean had it.
Sean has the style.
That was the hunt you shaved an elk horn in your beard, wasn't it?
So I drew a Montana elk tag, and I drew a Utah elk tag, and then I had a cow elk tag.
We need this video.
And so I shaved. I had
an antler,
a pretty big beard, so I had a friend of mine's wife shave antler. It was an elk antler here.
Was it legit?
Yeah,
it was legit.
Good.
And I kept it.
It looked silly. It was silly, but she did a good job. It looked like an elk.
Oh yeah, it looked silly, but it was awesome. I told my wife, she's like, "That's got to go," because I'm going to church, and I said, "Babe, this thing will stay on until I kill an elk." And, well, it had to wait till the cow, but I got the cow and shaved it off. But the longer the hair got on those elk chops is what I called them.
Yeah.
Nice.
And Monica is an amazing woman.
She is, man. She is the woman. She supports me regardless of how ugly it is.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank you guys for coming on the podcast. For people who want to find some more stuff around DC Outfitters, Ryan Carter, they can look you up.
Social media. Yeah, both. I mean,
I bet you got a YouTube thing going. No?
No, I don't.
Dude, talk to Griffith and get it on it, man.
I know, and I have enough content. I could throw together some stuff really good. I just need to do it for sure.
And Sean DeGray, Total Archery Challenge. You've got.
I'm not on social media. Total Archery Challenge.
Total Archery Challenges, and people need to do. I went to Big Sky, and I went to the Bird here in Utah.
Yeah.
One in Montana, one in Utah, both events, and they were off the hook.
Which one was better?
Dude, they're so different. But really, it's tough to say.
That's what I keep hearing. That's what I keep hearing.
I like each one for completely different reasons.
Yep. Big Sky's my favorite, but that's from a production standpoint. It just doesn't hurt as much.
Yeah, I like Big Sky. If I had to choose only one, I think I would choose Big Sky. And the reason for that is it's easier. Most of the people at Big Sky at that point we kind of take it over and we own it. Up at the Bird, you've got a ton of other people there at the same time, like
it's
mountain
huge.
bikers and hikers and all kinds of other people. So it made it a little more. There was concerts and things that were really cool, but it made it a little more difficult to find. The hunters didn't congregate in one space as much, and at Big Sky, you were just this big place.
Yeah,
where
we
you
own the base.
We own the
and
base.
they're nice. They give us a section of mountain. And the difference is Big Sky's kind of split up. It's two mountains. You know, that smaller mountain we're on, and then the big mountain that mountain bikers, everybody can go on. And the problem is at Snowbird, it's one mountain, and we close off just,
one canyon.
One canyon.
Snowbird is definitely the more like epic.
Yeah, there is nothing like it.
No, you're shooting
11,000,
10,8. It is absolutely Lord of the Rings style, like like fantasy epic.
Oh, you shoot
the photos
the ibex and the cliff.
Yeah, it has nothing. I mean,
awesome.
Ryan's not that cool, but he looks cool in that setting with the bow and arrow.
That nails it. Like that's so true.
That's why we say Ryan's the face. Most of the photos we use, guess who it is?
Yeah.
Ryan _ DC Outfitters.
That's right.
Well, I can make it look good. I don't hit anything. I burned through 24 arrows.
That's why we don't
time.
do video, Ryan. We just do pictures.
We just need your pretty face.
Yeah, that's why I'm not on YouTube right there.
Well, dude, thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
No,
do
thanks
it again.
for having us on.
Stay gritty, man.
Yeah.
Stay
Thanks,
gritty.
Brian.
The future of public lands. All of us own them, all of us use them. Political activists are demanding us to hand over the public lands where the state legislators could transfer and control these lands. U.S. citizens own 640 million acres of public lands, which creates 6.1 million jobs and generates $646 billion per year.
States have been selling off land to pay bills for over 100 years, thus closing access to the public. 39% of original 64 million acres have been sold. The cost of land management would break most state budgets. For instance, who will pay the hundreds of millions of dollars to fight major wildfires each year? It doesn't matter how many promises are made. The financial reality is it will force states to have to sell off our public land.
President Theodore Roosevelt said, "We must preserve our lands for future generations, not merely to the people now alive, but to the unborn people. Our duty to the whole bids us restrain an unprincipled present-day minority from wasting the heritage of these unborn generations."